This video is rated R and is intended for retarded audiences only.
Does cycling a Mauser with furry cat ears on just somehow magically make it more smooth? I mean, did I miss something?
What the hell is even that?
I guess you could ask our new buddies over at Everytown, since they're now offering firearms training. Firearms training? Who wrote this? Do we have an intern I didn't know about?
Tyler's gonna fire me.
No, seriously, this is real. This is an article in USA Today. Wow. This is gonna get weird.
What?
Let's pull up the article on screen, shall we? And we'll break it down. I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler alert. I got so fired up during reading this thing. I would say probably 80% of this video takes place in like the first 2 paragraphs of the article. I didn't even make it all the way to the bottom because I didn't want to bore you guys. Here we go. Let's rock and roll. Boy, we are starting off strong here with their quote saying, states should require people to complete safety training prior to purchasing guns or carrying them in public. And on the surface, this sounds great. To the average layperson, it does. But who decides in the state what you're gonna be doing and what kind of training you need to take? I mean, we've seen this time and time again. These people that are in the state are not in any way, shape, or form firearms experts, at least right now. Go Brandon. Soon, hopefully that changes. And you're gonna tell me that those people with 0 experts around them, because once again, when was the last time you saw I almost said fireworks, a firearms expert advising an active sitting politician? You don't see it all that often, if ever. So now you have a group of non-experts creating the dogma of the land that you must follow, or else you are going to jail for potentially dozens of years. The second you guys become too much of a problem to deal with, the government's gonna be like, nah, you said, remember those guns we told you could have? Yeah, you're gonna have to give those to us. More accurately, when you see the idea of us swinging from that gallows, I bet you'll be sitting there looking up and saying, boy, I sure wish I wouldn't have hung those guys. It's all right, we'll let you find out the hard way. Are you tired of your rifle running like a 97 Dodge Neon with 3 flat tires and a vape mod for an engine? Well, I would like to introduce you to the glorious and the majestic folks over at CMMG. Let's start with the Mark 47, a rifle so chunky, so aggressively American that it showed up to Thanksgiving dinner already covered in bacon grease. CMMG took the AK mag, slapped it onto an AR-15 platform, and birthed a firearm so freaking majestic it made Mikhail Kalashnikov rise from his grave, nod once, and then go back to sleep.
Strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
And then there's the CMMG Banshee, the gun that made shooting fun again. This little demon giggles louder than a drunk trash panda in a dryer. Chambered in just about every caliber your credit score can't handle, it's the perfect gun for CQB, range days, and accidentally mag dumping into your neighbor's recycling bin because the trigger pull was just too smooth.
Eat a dick, Pam.
Seriously, if you're tired of budget builds, mall ninja LARPing, and I don't know, rifles that run like a Windows Vista update, go buy a CMMG. Just a little bit farther down in the article, or the pub piece for this, they say, training is, smart training even, ensures that gun owners are educated on responsible practices for handling and using firearms, storing them securely at home and in vehicles, as well as carrying guns in public. Stop pretending like you're the first fucking people to do it. I mean, seriously, unlike the closet dictators at Everytown here, we think you should be in charge of picking your own types of firearms training. We think that you should be in charge of the responsibility of your decision making, which is a shockingly rare circumstance, right? That's a shockingly rare thing to expect of somebody these days. For them to take responsibility for their own decision making, wow. Color me not impressed for seeing that a bunch of liberals don't want to take responsibility for any of their decision making. They want to give all of that agency up and all of that control up to somebody who knows better than they do. At the end of the day, in our system, if you fuck up, that's on you. You had the opportunity to go get training in the first place. The way it is now, and the way that it should be, is no mandating of training. You have the opportunity to go get it at your own discretion, at your on your own time, and to your own intent and level that you want to. You're not being forced by anybody other than your own desire to improve in a skill that you chose to start. This decision is all yours, and if you don't know where to go, guess what? There's a place called the fucking internet that has a wealth of information available to you for you to start learning. That's how everybody else did it. And a lot of us even did it before the fucking internet existed. What have we always said? Ignorance isn't an excuse for stupidity, right? Well, if you're gonna go out and do dumb shit, guess what? You're gonna pay the price. Fuck around, find out. It happens to everybody. It's kind of like a universal law. This next one, man, blows my fucking mind. I firmly believe that Everytown and Giffords and all, Bloomberg, all of these guys are just trying to kill us through articles like this that raise our blood pressure, and eventually we just stroke out and die. And then they don't have to waste time in the court. So don't do that, but listen to this. Holy shit. Research shows that 39% of us don't have any formal firearms training. Safety training, I should say.
That doesn't make sense.
That is a misleading statement. The actual statement is, but research shows that 39% of gun owners have no safety training. What they want you to think is, everybody panic! Oh my God! Oh my God, they're incompetent fools. How could we live in a world where 39% of people who own the 500 million guns in America don't have training? Oh my God, it's so dangerous. Don't you see the panic they're trying to instill here?
Oh, mate, this isn't a fever. Sing great.
Would you love to know that they're only talking about formal training where you go and sit down? Trust me, I looked up the report. I'll link it to you so you can do it as well. It's pretty revealing. Plus, a lot of their citations and things that they use for these reports are not peer reviewed at all. They're internal shit in their own little echo chamber that they're citing as actual fact. So here we go. Organizations like this are known for using crooked statistics. A perfect example of this is how they lump all gun deaths together and blame it on the violent side of things, right? Suicides. When you hear 40,000 gun deaths in America, we need to solve gun violence in America, It's such a misleading statistic. A significant percentage of those gun deaths, as tragic as they are suicides and not related to gun violence at all. Yet you, the average American Joe or Jane, are led to believe that they are.
Would you say it's time for everyone to panic? Yes, I would, Ken.
I mean, this is coming on the heels of YouTube admitting they were intentionally censoring people. It comes on the heels. I don't know if you guys heard this. This came out on August 22nd. The FBI just got caught lying about the percentage of not mass shooters. What's the terminology? Active shooters that have been stopped by armed civilians. They have been massively underreporting that. They've said 3.7% or so thereabouts for the average of the last 10 years. Turns out it's closer to like 40%. So until these guys can get their fucking dicks in a row and figure out what information is what, I'm not gonna trust a single fucking thing they tell me. Speaking of, here is that information that they were using. By the way, all the way back in 2018 is when this data was gathered, so a little out of date, but they don't want you to know that. When Everytown mentions gun training, they say formal training. According to them, that is the only way that you can get things done. They're not gonna count things like grandfathers taking their kids out shooting and teaching them the basics of rifle marksmanship and gun safety. They're not going to talk about fathers and sons or daughters going through that pastime as well. They're not going to talk about spouses teaching spouses or significant others doing the same thing. So how can you say that accurately represents all of gun owners? It simply does not. If you lump all of that together and provided a proper statistic, I bet you that number is in the single digits.
Stop lying!
Everytown wants to teach you about guns? Bullshit. They want to tell you why their beliefs are right and everybody else's is wrong. And I get it. You're going to look at me and say, well, Tyler, don't you do the same thing? And I would say absolutely. But I am honest with you about it when I do it, and I don't require you to take a class for you to learn that about me. So
Get fucked.
all of you, Giffords, Everytown, all of them, Moms Demand Action, you guys suck.
You suck!
They go on to say that they're teaching people self-defense laws or education on self-defense laws, how to de-escalate arguments, the risks associated with children and suicidal people accessing firearms. They say these are essential knowledge, or this is essential knowledge for gun owners. Once again, I completely agree with you, but stop pretending like the actual hardworking instructors of the firearms industry today don't already teach that. Some of you might find this shocking. I'm about to say something wild that not a lot of you know. And I used to audit, everything from basic pistol classes all the way up to advanced, semi-advanced rifle stuff. Not like, you know, the crazy wild stuff. Like I couldn't go audit a Clint Smith course. That's way above my level. I have done a fair few of these in my time. And would you love to know that every single permit to carry class that I've been to has covered conflict de-escalation ad nauseum, situational awareness ad nauseum. They teach you more about how to avoid using your gun in the standard permit to carry class than they do teach you about actually using it. Because that's the point of the permit to carry class. The permit to carry class isn't there to make you say, oh, I've got a gun now, so I'm gonna go put myself in that dangerous situation I normally wouldn't have. That's not the point. Every single basic firearms class I've ever been to has gone over safe storage of firearms for families, children, even sometimes people with suicidal thoughts. That might be the weakest area that's not covered in every single class. And maybe the one area where I could agree we could talk more on. And then I gotta remember I gotta talk to these morons, and I don't know, suddenly it doesn't all seem worth it anymore. Here they go on to elaborate on how it's a brand new program again that was created by veterans, which is fucking hilarious, by the way, because these are the same folks that blasted us for militaristic training classes, right? Being too aggressive and everything. And now they're leaning on the backs of veterans and military-style training classes to teach leftist losers how to carry guns.
I mean, you just can't make this up.
I think we saw a combat vet or two on there, and that's fine. I won't discount them from that at all. But just because you're in the military, right, doesn't mean you're good at shooting. I don't know what their prerequisite for instructors are outside of military service when Kurt Cobain was alive. It doesn't seem like this is gonna go anywhere for me. I could be wrong. This could be the greatest thing ever for firearms. I doubt it. It seems that the instructors being geriatrics will not make a difference in the least since the USAID budget dried up and now they can no longer afford to get DDM4s anyways. So I guess they're relegated to whatever sporterized milsurp abomination they can get their grubby, weeb, weak little hands on. That was a good descriptor sentence, Tyler. But of course, once again, Giffords, Everytown, Moms Demand Action, these are all companies that are famous for eating their own words, sometimes even in the same articles. All right, let's pull up the YouTube video here and see what they gotta say.
A lot of firearm training courses spread some of those myths that we don't think are very helpful. And at the end of the day, they're trying to either sell memberships, self-defense insurance, or firearms. And we're not about that.
This is a bold statement here, accusing every Pro 2A, pro-freedom firearms instructor out there under the sun of being a predatory instructor that only seeks to upsell you on other things. I've got a couple of issues with that statement. Number one, since when is it bad or immoral to sell or offer comparative products that you think your clients are gonna like based on your professional opinion? That doesn't sound so bad, does it? Yet you're accusing people of doing that and making it sound like it's an awful thing. If they liked your class, I'm pretty sure it'd be reasonable to assume that they might take another one, and therefore a membership might actually save them money.
So sorry.
And number two, this is coming from Everytown, folks. Just remember this. At the end of the day, what they're looking to do is coffin surf and grab your money at the tail end of a tragedy.
Why would you do that?
I mean, seriously, if it weren't for bored billionaires, these guys wouldn't have enough funding to hire a competent firearms instructor, let alone a number of them. Everytown begs for more money than any instructor I've ever known personally combined. If you take one thing away from this video, and especially if you're a new gun owner, remember this. Companies like Everytown exist only to scare you into giving you their money. Other way around, giving them your money. Yay, I'm not a smart man. That's the difference between me and them, folks. I'll make fun of myself all day long. They are just gonna try to tear you apart and terrorize you until you're so scared that you're willing to give up all of your cash. Predatory instructors exist, folks. Just because an instructor has military service on their resume, myself included in that, doesn't mean that we are firearms experts inherently. Every single instructor in the military that's ever been worth their salt, that is one of the first things that they are going to tell you. Now, there are a lot out there that are unbelievable trainers because they were in the military. but I bet you it's not necessarily because of their trigger pulling ability. It's their ability for leadership, effective communication, and instruction that they learned in the military that caused them to be such an effective trainer. Simple fact of the matter is, 20 years of shit experience is still 20 years of shit. Do not inherit their bad fucking practices, folks. Do your own research, figure it out for yourself. All right, folks, let's wrap it up. Make sure you pick up a patch from fattech.com, and remember this, the ATF is gay. All gun laws are infringements. We'll see you next time. Bye, folks.
Go away, Baton.